Thank you for purchasing All Here. We're going to show you how to use All Here to take your daily attendance for your classes. In the iOS application menu, go ahead and select All Here icon. All Here will open up to the home screen, and across the home screen top you'll have your list of classes in the main area, and above that you'll have a new button, which is a page with a plus sign to add a new course, and you also have an edit button which will allow you to edit any course that's currently listed below. I'm going to go ahead and select the New Course button. New Course button allows me to click on the camera to add a photo. This would be great to add a photo of your textbook. It's going to show up in the classes page. You can add a class name. I'll go ahead and say this is period 2, and my subject is science. Now, you also have the ability to import your roster, or you could type your roster from scratch. If you have typed up your roster and saved it to a Dropbox account, you can import any CSV file from a Dropbox account. And I'm going to go ahead and do that here. So I'll click on Import Roster. You log into your Dropbox account. Once in your Dropbox account, go ahead and select where you have your CSV file saved. In this case, this is a CSV file I'm going to use right here. Select the CSV file, and it will tell you if the import is successful. Click on OK. I'm going to go ahead and click on Done, and you'll see now that I have period 2 science. If I had added a photo to this period 2 science, I would have a photo that shows up over on the left side. Selecting the course, we'll go ahead and open it up, and you'll see that I have all of the students that I imported listed in this course. Over on the right side, under my days of the week, you'll notice that this is all blank. I haven't taken any attendance yet, but it does show you the date across the top, and this video is being recorded on January 1st, 2012. You have a couple different views. One view across the bottom, if you go down to the bottom right corner, is the grid view. Selecting the grid view is going to show you actually photos of all of your students. Selecting any one of your students in particular is going to go ahead and mark them as being here. If you tap a student twice, it's going to mark them as being absent. If you tap them 3 times, it's going to mark them as being tardy. Now on the bottom menu button, you do have a checkbox. If you select the checkbox, it's a quick way to go ahead and mark all of your students here, and adds the check sign. Now, if any of the students in particular are tardy or absent, you can go back and go ahead and you can add those students who are tardy or absent. Selecting the Edit button in the upper right-hand corner is going to allow you to click on any student to edit that student. If you select Edit that student, you'll be able to edit their name. You'll also be able to edit any of the notes or email information that you have, and you can also add a photo by clicking on the camera. If you need to add a student, at the bottom of the page you'll have the silhouette with the plus sign. Selecting the silhouette with the plus sign will allow you to add a new student. Simply type their name in the correct fields and select the camera if you'd like to add their photo. In the parent email address and student email address fields, you can fill those in if you have that information. That comes in really handy for emailing your students right from this application. Go ahead and select the Done button, and you'll notice that we have added a new student here, Sarah Johnson. So we'll go ahead and mark her as being here. Now, if I go back to the other grid view, you'll notice that I can see all of the students that are being marked here, and they show up in the grid view. Another feature that we have within the courses, on the bottom left-hand corner, you have a calendar date. Selecting the calendar button will allow you to spin to a new date. The calendar does always open up on the current date, so you'll just have to, if you need to backdate, let's say you forgot to take attendance yesterday and you just want to mark it in, you'll just have to scroll back to the previous date, click on Done, and you are now back on that previous date. And I'll go ahead and mark all those students here. Another button that you do have next to the calendar is the email button. Selecting the email button will allow you to quickly either email all of your students in the entire class. Let's say you want to just send a little reminder that tomorrow you're going to have a study session and they need to bring certain materials. Or you can also just click on absent students, and it will just send an email to the absent students in that course. That way, if you have information that you need to share just with those students who are not present in class today, there's a button to do that. You do have a sort button, A through Z here. Selecting the sort button will allow you to sort the class by first name, allow you to sort the class by last name, and will also allow you to randomly sort the class. So if you just want to have your students randomly sorted so that you can either call them out or group them, it makes it real easy. Along with grouping them, we actually have a special button here just for grouping. If you select the group button, the two little silhouettes, you can select your group size. Let's say I want to have random groups of 3. Click on Done. And now I have random groups of 3 of all of my students. In the lower right-hand corner of this screen, you have a little email button. Selecting the email button will generate an email. You can email this to yourself or to whoever you like so that you have all of your random groups of students listed out. I'm going to cancel out of this email and go back to the class page. Now, in the upper right-hand corner, there's an alarm clock. Selecting the alarm clock lets you pick when you want to set an alarm. If you want to have an alarm that goes off every day to remind you at 1:05 p.m. to take attendance, every day at 1:05 p.m. a little chime will go off on your iPhone or your iPad to remind you to take attendance. If you select the home button, this will take you back to your other course. Along with this, in the bottom right-hand corner, you have a reports button, two little pieces of paper. Selecting the reports button will allow you to select one of your classes. We'll select period 2, and it allows you to run a report, picking a start date and an end date, or all dates, and run a report. Clicking on the email button, this will generate a little CSV file, an Excel file that you can have backed up on your computer that has all of your attendance. You can email that to yourself or your attendance secretary, whoever you need to record your attendance with. I'm going to cancel out of that. We'll come back to our reports, and I'm going to click on the home again, go back one more, and there's also a game button in the lower right-hand corner. The game button only works if you have photos for all of your students, or at least some of your students, and this is just a memory game that you can play with yourself just to help you memorize to associate the faces with the names of your students. Selecting the Classy Apps button will open up the Classy Apps submenu. Allows you to rate this app, join us on Facebook, or you can switch to another one of our apps simply by selecting the button there. Again, thank you for purchasing all here, and we hope you have a wonderful teaching day.